energy this evening. Let your hands face upwards as you sit, but if you want to ground yourself a little more, let your hands face down towards your knees. Close your eyes. And just find yourself within the space that you're in. Listen to background noise. And any other smells or feelings that you pick up on. Start to take your awareness to your breath. Let your breath fill your body. Let your body expand out to the front, to the sides, to the back. And we're going to start with no music because I want you to listen to your breath. If you find you've got any tightness in your face, perhaps your lips are pursed or your jaw is clenched, try and soften that now. And we'll begin with a Voloma breath, a breath against the grain. We'll take 3 inhales of equal length, and then we'll take 1 long exhale. Try and fill up your lungs as you inhale, but not so much that when you get to that final 3rd inhale, you can't take anything else in. We'll begin with a big breath in through the nose to clear. Sigh everything out. And then take your first inhale, a wee sip through the nose. Pause. Breathe in again. Pause. Breathe in again. Pause. And exhale fully. Same again. Breathe in 1. Pause. 2. Pause. 3. Pause. And exhale fully. Keep going like this. 3-part inhale, 1-part exhale. Breath is slow, even, measured. One more round like this. Once you finish that final round, allow your breath to come back to you normally. Nice steady inhale and exhale. Okay, let's begin. We're going to stay seated to start off with. So if you're starting to feel a bit uncomfortable in your sit bones or your lower back, grab a wee cushion or something to sit on. And then from here, extend both your legs out in front of you. Legs are straight. Push out through your feet. Feel your sciatic nerves ping. Take your hands either side of your hips and press your hands down so you straighten your arms. You might even find that you lift your bum a little off the ground as you do this. Try and create as much length and kind of rigidity as possible in your body. Now from here, soften everything. Soften your feet, soften your knees, and take a bend into your right knee. And take your right foot to the inside of your left leg. And then from here, you can either keep your right foot on the inside of your left leg, or you can cross it over to the outside. For some, that might be really accessible, and for others, that's going to feel really uncomfortable. So do what feels good. And from here, take your left elbow and wrap it around your right knee. And we're going to take a twist. So this is actually a vinyasa move, but it's really nice and yin. Wrap your left arm around the right knee, take your right hand back behind you, and start to send your gaze back towards the back of your mat. Try and keep both your sit bones grounded here. If you need to place your hand on a block, your right hand on a block or on a cushion, you can do that. Lean your head back just a touch in space. And see if you can peel the right shoulder back here. As you do that, your navel is going to draw around further to the right. And you've got an option to keep your left elbow snuggling into that knee, or you can hook the left elbow to the outside of the right knee and use that as a lever to draw yourself a little further. Just being mindful that yin is a passive class, so we don't want to be too intense here. We don't want to do too much tugging. Try and wedge yourself in rather than like pull yourself around. Yeah, Two more breaths here. Okay, once you've finished your second breath, we're going to take a very brief counter twist to the left. So keep your legs as they are, but take your hands all the way over to the left, and you'll feel this amazing tug in your chest as you do so. And then just gently press your hands down to the left-hand side, and then come back up. Now from here, take your right foot and cross it over your left leg. If that feels way too much, you can take your right foot to the inside of your left leg. You've got options here to prop up your right knee with a block or with a cushion if you want. From here, draw yourself round so that your pelvis is facing your left foot. Have a tiny bend in your left knee if you can, and we'll take a forward fold. And again, if it doesn't feel good with the right foot on top of the left leg, just take it to the inside. Start to reach forward. And notice how your bum wants to lift up. Allow that to happen, but just so that you can walk your sit bones back in space, and then allow your sit bones to ground again. Soften into your left knee. You can have a huge bend in the left knee if you want. And start to drape yourself over your leg. Now, if you've got bolsters or blocks or any kind of props for your head, you can use them here. Nice, your hands are on either side of the left leg here. Yeah, very good. Okay. Start to soften into the pose. Let your head get heavy. And find your edge. So those of you who are less familiar with yin, we're constantly trying to find our edge. That's the point at which we're balancing between effortful and effortless. Too stretchy and not quite stretchy enough, that fine little point. Three more breaths here. Every exhale allows your body a bit more space to become a little deeper in the fold, or to go a little deeper in the fold. Okay, start to press yourself back up and come all the way back onto your back. We'll take constructive rest. So coming to lie back, bend into your knees, take your feet wide and knock your knees into the middle. Let your hands rest by the sides of your body. You should be feeling quite lopsided right now because we just took a twist and then an asymmetrical forward fold. So things might be feeling a little more intense, perhaps down the left side of your body. Okay, from here, roll over to one side and push yourself up to a seat. Take your time. Second side, straight away. Back into your staff pose, so extending your feet in front of you. Press your hands underneath or beside your hips. Press into your hands, let yourself become tall, super rigid, like a bookend, and then soften. From here, take your left foot to the inside or the outside of your right leg. And then hug the left knee into your chest with your right elbow. Take your left hand back behind you to the floor to a block, and then start to twist over to the left hand side. Rolling your left shoulder back, allowing your navel to start swiveling over to the left. Send your head back in space just a touch, not vinyasa style, so we're not kind of flinging it back dramatically. Just a gentle back bend in the cervical spine and thoracic. Every inhale lifts you just a touch. Every exhale twists you just a touch. And I always say when I'm doing really twisty classes, I feel like I'm wringing out my day. I feel like you're wringing out a big rag. Option to hook your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Nice, Leonie. And you can give that just a gentle nudge so you can wedge yourself in. Two more breaths. Keep twisting. If you find that you've got quite tight in your hip all of a sudden, see if you can relax the right foot. Okay, we'll take that counter twist, so keep your legs as they are, but spin your hands over to the right, and press your hands gently down to the right. Take a little lean over to the right as well. And then come back up. Your shoulder blades should be feeling really nice right now. Now take your left foot either just on top of the right leg or to the inside of the right leg. And again, use any props you need to support the hip. Try and shimmy your hips off here so that if your hip points had laser beams on them, they'd be pointing forward. And once you're feeling neutral-ish in the hips, start to take your hands either side of the right leg and bow forward. Twist followed by a forward fold. Both of those poses compromise our diaphragm. So if you're feeling slightly shorter of breath, or if you feel like your breath has become quite shallow, try and place emphasis on your exhale. You get out more breath, your body wants to draw in more as you inhale. And that can trick you into having a slightly longer breath cycle. Another 5 or 6 breaths here. Every exhale takes you deeper. Okay, once you finish your 6th breath, unravel, release, and come to lie on your back for constructive rest once more. A big bend in your knees, feet come as wide as they can go. Knock your knees into the middle. This time you can take cactus arms if you want to, bending into your elbows so that you've got a bit more space through the chest. If that doesn't feel good in the shoulders or elbows, just let your hands rest by your side. You still feel like you're holding the tension from the twists in your tummy. On your next exhale, try and soften your tummy and soften the back of your body so that the back of your body perhaps anchors a little closer to the ground. From here, draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a little hug. Roll one side and push yourself up to a seat. Okay. We're going to come into a prone pose now. So if you find lying on your belly is uncomfortable on your pelvis or your hip bones, maybe grab a wee blanket and place it across the midsection of your mat. And then from here, come to lie on your belly. And take your elbows just a little further from your shoulders. So Sphinx pose, which in Yin is actually called seal pose. I absolutely love having a cushion or a pillow sandwiched just underneath my ribs here. If you are in that camp, feel free to add that addition. Feels really supportive. If you've got a bolster and you want to go a little further in this pose, you can take your elbows onto the bolster. Or if you've got a cushion or a block. Now from here, we're just going to set up for a classic Sphinx pose. So spread your fingers super wide, point your middle fingers forward, and then draw your chest between your arms towards the front of the room. And as you do so, your lower back is going to get this big juicy stretch. If you find that your shoulders creep towards your ears here, that's going to be really uncomfortable. So press into your elbows and give your shoulders and ears a bit of space from one another. Keep your gaze directly in front of you. If this is too much on the spine, you can take a cushion or a bolster in front of you, and you can rest your arms on it and you can rest your head on that. You still get a pretty deep sensation through the spine, but it's much softer on your shoulders. One of the biggest challenges in Yin is finding stillness both in your body and in your mind. So while this is a very simple, straightforward pose, it can be hugely frustrating staying in something like this, especially if you are big into vinyasa and you love to push yourself through loads of sun salutations or chaturangas. Finding stillness in a really simple pose is such a challenge. The option to stay as you are, or if you'd like to get some hip action and a slightly more intense back bend, bend into your right knee and draw your right knee up in space. If your shoulders are fatiguing, remember you can always come down onto your forearms, onto your cushion. Turn the volume up again before we switch sides, As always in Sphinx, there's the option to press into your hands and lift your elbows. Okay, from here we're going to come into the second side with the knees. So if your elbows are extended, take the elbows back down. Send your right foot back to the back of your mat. Bend into your left knee, drawing it up in space towards the top of your mat. And then set yourself up on this side. After maybe 3 or 4 breaths here, if you want to extend the elbows, go for it. If at any point your neck is feeling really tired, you can rest your head in your hands. Four more breaths. Once you've finished your 4th breath, we're going to come back into child's pose. So press yourself up onto all fours. Draw your toes together, send your knees wide. If you want to have a pillow underneath your head or your bum, grab that now. And then draw your chest down to the floor. Arms can be extended or back behind you in space. Try and expand your breath out through the back of your body in child's pose. Imagine that your diaphragm is a balloon that's trying to lift off underneath you. Okay, slowly start to push yourself onto your knees, sitting on your heels, and then come to lie down on your mat, on your back. From here, walk your feet over to the right of your mat. Lift your hips and shift your hips to the right too, but keep your shoulders stuck down in place. Let your arms extend out to the sides of the room, your palms facing upwards. And you have two options for our twist. You can either let your knees fall over to the left as they are, or you can cross your right leg once or maybe twice around your left leg and let your knees fall over. Your right arm is possibly gonna bob up off the floor. If that's the case, grab your props, blocks or whatever, and place them underneath your knees on the left. Now to complete the twist, turn your gaze over to your right shoulder, over your right shoulder even. And then if you want to, you can snuggle that left shoulder along to the left side of the mat even more. Try and relax your jaw in this twist. And think of your breath trickling down your body, weaving in and out of your spine, just like water trickling down branches. Let's stay here for another 8 breaths and try and count your breaths if you can. Try and make that 8 slow breaths. Once you've finished your 8 slow breaths, and do take your time, if you're nowhere near, that's fine. Unravel yourself and hug your knees to your chest. Let your shoulders soften into the mat. Let your hands gently anchor down the front of your legs. Enjoy your lower back being in contact with the ground. And we'll come straight into the second side. So take your feet down to the floor, bending into your knees. Walk your hips and your feet over to the left side of your mat. Outstretch your arms. You've got the option to cactus arms this time if you want to. And then decide whether you're going to just let your knees wave over to the right, or whether you're going to take a little wrap with your left leg over the top of your right leg. Maybe wrapping once or twice. take your twist. And to complete the twist, send your gaze over your left shoulder. Remember to put any props underneath knees or shoulders. I'm going to turn the mic off because Mona is really purring this evening. But similarly with last time, keep your awareness on your breath. Your breath is trickling down your spine, feeding into all of your limbs. Eight more breaths left. Try and count your breaths. Once you finish your 8 breaths, draw your knees back into your chest. And this time we've got the option to take Happy Baby, which will feel so gorgeous on your lower back. So you can either keep the knees hugged into the chest, or you can reach your feet to the sky, bend into your knees and grab onto the outside edges of your feet, or maybe the back of your legs. Happy Baby is amazing for soothing any kind of digestive stuff you've going on. So if your tummy is gurgling, enjoy it. See if you can really soften any tension in your shoulders or your knees or your hips here, allowing things to get heavy. Try and keep your head and your shoulders grounded if you can. And just as we did in child's pose, think about your breath pushing through the back of your body. So this time the balloon is defying gravity, that balloon in your diaphragm, and it's trying to push downwards instead of up to the sky. Okay. Release your feet down to the ground. Let the blood come back into your hips, and then roll gently to one side. And push yourself up to a wee seat. And we're going to take a long hold now, and we'll use all our props. So if you've got a bolster, grab your bolster and place it about a quarter of the way down your mat. If you've got pillows, get all your pillows and your blanket and make a little fake bolster with your blanket by making it like rolling it up or turning it into a little accordion and laying it on top of your pillows. Try not to wake yourself up too much as we organize this pose. And if you've got a block, place the block at the top of your mat. Now in twists, we get a little warmer, but in Happy Baby, we get pretty cold. So if your body temperature's dropped, grab some socks, blankets, jumpers, whatever. And then once you've got yourself set up, we're gonna come into a supported fish pose, which is a thoracic back bend. So to come into fish pose, we want to drape our upper spine, the back where our rib cage is, over our bolster setup or your pillows. And if you can get your shoulder blades over the top of your pillows, that would be great. And then take your head to the block behind you. Now, you can choose, it might actually feel quite nice to have the block on its highest setting, depending on the height of your pillow setup. Try not to get too exaggerated a curve in your lower spine here. We want the bum and the tailbone to be firmly on the ground. Allow yourself time to kind of wriggle around until you get yourself comfortable. And then let your arms fall out to either side of the rim. So we've created this little corridor for our shoulders and our arms to live in between the pillows and the block. Now your legs are totally up to you this evening. You can either take constructive rest with the legs, which feels gorgeous, feet wide, knees knocked in. If you'd like something more hippie, take your feet together, let your knees fall out to the sides of the room. Or if you'd like to feel long, extend your feet away from you. Your call. We hold a lot of tension in our shoulders and in our upper spine. So if you find that your tongue has somehow snuck its way between your teeth, or if your jaw's clenched shut, take a big exhale to release that. Think again about your breath trickling down your body, but this time it's not weaving its way around your twisted spine, it's just gliding down the front of your body with ease. If you'd like a release in the cervical spine in your neck, you can lower or remove the block beneath your head. It's quite a dramatic move, so if you're comfy, stay as you are. Three more breaths. Once you've finished your third breath, take your feet back down to the ground. Nice big bend in your knees. And instead of hoiking ourselves up out of this pose, we're just going to roll off the side of our props. So roll over to one side. Be mindful if you're quite high up. Hug your knees a little higher to your chest than you might usually. And then gently push yourself to a seat. Take your time. If your gaze is really fuzzy, let it be cloudy and everything. Okay, from here, we're going to come to lie on our back and we'll do a little pranayama that will lead us straight into Shavasana. I would suggest getting yourself up for Shavasana, all set up for Shavasana in case you drift off. And if you have got enough props to do so, have something to have underneath your knees or just raise your knees onto a sofa. So once you're ready, come to lie down on your back with your knees elevated somehow. Make sure you're warm. If you want a pillow under your head, you can grab that. If you use a blanket in Shavasana, cuddle yourself into that now. And let your hands rest on your belly, one on top, one slightly higher at the bottom of the ribs, and then one on your belly. If you want to be really luxurious, you can let your elbows rest on something here, like a block either side. Otherwise, just let your elbows peel off down the sides of your body. Take a little bit of space between your feet and let your feet flop out. Lengthen your tailbone down to the bottom of your mat. Close your eyes. And the pranayama is just a gentle counting of the breath. I'm going to help you count a nice equal inhale and exhale. And you can do this through your nose or through your mouth. I'll lead you for the first few breaths, and then I invite you to either drift off or continue counting your breath. First of all, let's take a sigh, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and then start breathing in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue like this. With every exhale, your body gets heavier. You can continue counting, or you can drift into your Shavasana now. please stay as you are if you're sleepy. If you want to come back into the room, begin deepening your breath. I'll say goodbye now and let you lie down for the end. But if you're wanting to seal the practice with a breath, I'd invite you to take a big inhale and a big exhale. Thank you so much as always, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Lots of love.